there's such a game that's being played on so many different levels here. I called Joe Biden out on this to his face when in 2017, in early 2017, when I was at I'll just keep the details, I'll keep the details slight, but I was at a dinner with him. He was opposite me across the table, and he and Jeb Bush were taking turns bashing Trump. And they were going on and on and on. It was like a ping pong match, taking turns. And I wasn't even a Trump fan or anything.
Yeah.
But I just was, it was on and on about, it was all the talking points that, were so obviously untrue. And it was nauseating. And eventually and then he was going on about, and Trump is an unreliable partner in foreign affairs, and because he won't keep his word. And that's when I said to him, I interrupted him, and I was like, oh, you mean like when you and Obama didn't keep your word with the red line in Syria? I said, and
what was his response?
Oh, what do you think? What do you think? I said, when you actually opened the door for the Russians to go balls to the wall, basically, because they knew that the West wasn't coming to help the rebels in any meaningful way.
Right.
And hundreds of thousands of Syrians have died and been wounded and been driven out of their country ever since. And they're still suffering right now. And he said, oh, I don't think that's right. I don't think that's when that happened. And I was like, oh, no. And I went through it in detail.
Right.
And he was absolutely apoplectic, livid, angry. But he couldn't take it out on me because he had no comeback. He literally had no comeback because it was true. And so anyway,
truth shuts you up.
A few minutes later, he got kind of annoyed because that sort of opened the door for other people at the table to start raising things that were not challenging, but a little bit, it had been pretty sycophantic up until that point. It was kind of like everyone sitting there listening, and then people started to say, well, and what about this and what about that? And he got really mad and he said, I'm not going to talk anymore. And that was the point at which a very nice man, who I shall not name, said, oh no, please, don't stop talking because we really want to hear, you're a great talker and we want to hear what you have to say. And then he threatened to hit him.
Really?
Yeah. He said, let's take this outside. I'll show you. And he lost his shit at the table. Nobody could believe it. Nobody could believe it.
Really?
And afterwards, Valerie Jarrett came up and tried to attack me.
Really?
Yeah. And said, by the way, I want to say that what you did to the vice president was extremely disrespectful. And I said to her, with all due respect, ma'am, it's former vice president, and I don't agree. That was it.